آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A warm welcome to all the participants present over here. Alhamdulillah, with the abundant mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we gathered here again for another beautiful session. Before proceeding, I would like to brief you all some instructions. I recommend you to turn off your notification to avoid the distractions. Also, keep a notebook and pen with you to take notes. If you have any doubts and reflection, please write them in the chat box. And finally, I'm reminding you to purify your intentions. So today's session is a little bit special for you guys because we are announcing the winners of Ramadan Challenge 2022. For that, stay tuned. Without any further delay, let's begin the session with the words of Almighty who gathered us here. I would like to call upon Brother Muhammad Ajmal for the Qiraat. Over to you.
I'm audible?
Yes, Alhamdulillah. you're audible.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوا يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وآتانا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المسير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إسرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Muhammad Ajmal, for your beautiful recitation. Now, I would like to call upon Sister Atiba Parveen for the welcome speech. Over to you.
Am I audible?
Yes.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we have completed the Ramadan challenge successfully, and all that's left is the declaration of the winners and the prize distribution. We thank your efforts and sincerity displayed during the course of the challenge. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this from all of us. How has the past days been? Has it been drastically different from Ramadan? Have you gone back to the old habits, or have you kept away from them even after Ramadan has passed? This session aims at breaking that cycle of going into the same sins after refraining from them for a period. First of all, I welcome our guest speaker, Wafi Shihad sir, to this gathering. He has diploma in Islamic thought and philosophy and is an undergraduate of psychology from Farooq College. May Allah accept all your great efforts and intentions. I welcome each and every one of you present here. Thank you for taking your time to participate. Set good intentions and listen closely. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you and me both to benefit from the session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair, Sister Atiba. Without any further delay, I would like to welcome our speaker guest, Brother Wafi Shihad. Welcome, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Am I audible and clear?
Wa alaikum assalam. Yes, you are audible.
الحمد لله خالق الوجود من العدم وجاعل النور من الظلم ومخرج الصبر من الألم وملقي التوبة على الندم ونشكره على المصائب كما نشكره على النعم والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم بعد أقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين فمن ابتغى وراء ذلك فأولئك هم العادون والذين هم لأماناتهم وعهدهم راعون والذين هم على صلواتهم يحافظون أولئك هم الوارثون الذين يرثون الفردوس هم فيها خالدون. Dear brothers and sisters, we are actually in a very, very important moment of our life. We have just finished Ramadan, and Ramadan has been a beautiful time. 30 days of worship, 30 days of ibadat, 30 days of praying in night, 30 days of wird of the Quran, 30 days of focusing on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 30 days of taqwa, 30 days of ihsan, 30 days of Imaan, 30 days in which we rejuvenated and re-energized our hearts with the essence and the beautiful taste of Iman. And I hope that we all got the opportunity to taste the beauty of Iman, right? Now, the topic we are going to be discussing today, it's very important from a psychological and also a spiritual perspective. So listen very carefully. Now, there are about 46 people here listening to me at the moment. So since it's a very small population, I'm going to be conversing with you. And I want all of you to engage with me very actively in the session. The level or the amount of effort that you put into the session for brainstorming and for discussions and for answering questions, that's going to determine the amount of benefit that you take away from the session after 1 hour, inshallah. So I hope you have all heard the instructions given by the sister earlier. Also, I would just like to point out that make sure not to turn on your mic, and also make sure to answer all the questions that I ask on the chat. Okay, just answer it as fast as you can, so have your fingers in the chat, all right, on the keyboard. Now, is it clear? If it is clear, say yes in the chat. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, now I'm going to be asking you a few questions. It's going to be psychologically oriented and it's going to be very, very important. But before going to those questions, let's do a small meditational practice. Okay, this is just to set the stage and make your mind clean and pure, to make it susceptible to the information that I'm going to lay on in the oncoming slides, inshallah. Okay, the first question I would like to ask you is this: how old are you? How old are you? You have 22, 42, 20, 23, 18. So we've got different populations. I want everyone to type in your age. So the population demographics, if I'm correct, falls between the age of 17 to 40. All right, all right. Okay, now I want you to close your eyes. Okay, I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Now listen to the instructions that I give very, very carefully. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, now imagine and visualize in your mind the things that I'm saying, all right? And don't open your eyes until I say so. Look back into your life and look at your childhood. The time when you were at the age of 3 or 4 or 5, you playing with your friends, your mother feeding you her beautiful smile, you playing in your home, fighting with your brothers and sisters. Also, like, visualize the things that you did in your childhood, the beautiful memories, the trips that you went to with your parents, the good times that you had. Now think about the time you went to school, your first day of school. How was it? Just think about it. You're going to school, you can see your school bus, you can see your school in your mind. That old classroom, man, it feels nostalgia in the heart, right? That beautiful classroom, your young, little, innocent friends, small little children, everyone happy, playing. Then think about your school life in high school. You're in your 5th standard, 6th standard, 7th standard. Imagine yourself as I go ahead with the classes: 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th, 12th. Now, the people who are very young here, they may not be able to visualize more. So you can stop your visualizing the session there, but close your eyes and just visualize others, just visualize the things that I'm saying, all right? So your school, high school, higher secondary school has ended. You went into college. Your first day in college, passing through the college gate, you going to your classroom, meeting with friends, the amount of good times you had with your friends, talking, joking, laughing, chatting. You're going in and out of college, first year, second year, third year. You graduated. Now, a lot of people will stop here for visualization, but still close your eyes. Now, those who are much elder, you can continue your journey. You going out of college, joining for masters, increasing in age, responsibilities accumulate, marriage, you got married, the good times you had with your wife or your husband, the sense of love, happiness, joy, sadness, fights, anxiety, depression, stress. Your children, pregnancy, your beautiful little kids. All right. Now, since the age demographics is till age 40, I'll stop the journey here. And I want you to open your eyes. Okay, just open your eyes and have a breathe in and breathe out. And the question I want to ask you, my dear brothers and sisters, is this: do you feel like everything went by fast? Do you feel like everything went by fast? Man, subhanAllah, we have been living on this planet for this many years, and it's just been like a drama, man. Like, looking back, like, it's just over. It's so fast. Where has the time gone? Where has the time gone? Right? These are really, really important philosophical questions, introspective inquiries that we should be asking ourselves every day. Okay, I would like to ask you another question, all right? Make sure you answer it as fast as you can in the chat. Till what age do you want to live? Till what age do you want to live? Okay, just answer me as honestly as you can. Okay, we have 50, 40 to 50, 70, okay. Forever, you wish, all right, 72, 80, 63, All right. Like everyone has that, personal age. For me, I would prefer to live until maybe I would prefer to die at the age of 39. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King actually died at the age of 39. And Mu'adh bin Jabal actually died at the age of 32. Imam Nawawi was very young when he died. A lot of people who left a lot of impact on the world, like a lot of them, they never entered their 40-year gate of adulthood, right? But they still left a legacy. Okay, so till what I'm given, till what I'm forgiven, all right. We have different ages. Now, are you sure that you're going to live till that age? Are you sure that you're going to live till that age? Okay, no. So that is clear. You want to live till a certain age, but we are not sure. Okay, all right, all right. Now, imagine that we had the same session after maybe, I don't know, 40 years, okay? Maybe after 40 years. I don't know how much of you guys are going to be alive. I don't know whether I'm going to be alive or not. I may die tomorrow, day after tomorrow, maybe even tonight, or maybe right after this session, right? Like I hope I am, stay alive until the next month, at least till CAJ gets started, right? All right. So if we had the session, maybe after 40 or 50 years, and I did the same visualization exercise with you guys, okay? You imagining your, marriage, your children, your grandchildren, whatever, you're buying a home and you're staying there and you're retiring. And if I asked you the question, do you feel like your life went by fast? What are you going to say? Do you think you're going to say yes or no? What are you going to say? You're going to say yes. That is the very nature of life. That is the very nature of life. Time is just going to go and go and go. And you guys are going to have no idea how fast it went by. You guys are not going to have any idea how fast it went by. Life is very short, my dear brothers and sisters. This is the final point that I'm trying to give you. And the session that I'm going to give you, I'll only be talking for the next 25 minutes and I'll be concluding. And I want to give you a principle that you have to follow in your life. And this is very, very important. And I'll give you some tips to stick to this principle. All right. And then I'll give you a route plan to how to stick to it in the future. And it's going to be through a community called SEOJ, inshallah. Okay. So life will go faster than we expect, and death will come sooner than we expect. A lot of people died. A lot of people died. I had friends, from childhood to my college life, I had a lot of friends who died. A lot of my relatives, they died. They passed away, accidents, cancer, a lot of chronic illnesses, diseases, etc. Okay, life will go faster than we expect and death will come sooner than we expect. So we got to stay prepared for death. That is number one. That is very, very important. We're not sure whether we are going to stay alive until the end of this day. We don't even have that guarantee yet. We think that we're going to live forever. We think that we are young, we're 20, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, and we think we have a life ahead in which we get married and have children and, have a wonderful profession and job. I mean, you're just deluding yourself. You are deluding yourself. We all know that death is real, but for some reason, we just deluded ourselves to believe and engage and engulf the poisons of this materialistic and hedonistic reality. We need to think, we need to contemplate, we need to introspect, and we need to look back into our life, and we need to accept the reality as it is. Now, the looking back exercise, okay? I just want you to look back into your Ramadan. Okay, how was your Ramadan? Was it good or was it bad? How was your Ramadan? Okay, Ramadan is good, but how was your experience of Ramadan? Was it good or was it bad? Okay, well, are you satisfied or unsatisfied? Satisfied or unsatisfied? Okay, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Some people unsatisfied, some people satisfied. Okay, so we have mixed populations here. All right. Okay, how many days have passed since Ramadan? Okay, we had Eid, we ate biryani, I hope so. And we went for trips. Some people, they enjoyed family gathering, happiness, joy, puddings. I don't know what you guys eat in your homes anyway. You have wonderful food, right? So 13 days have fast, okay? 13 to 12, right? So based on the country you're from, 13 to 12. That's almost like 2 weeks. Okay, that is almost like 2 weeks. Okay. Now the next question is, Like almost 2 weeks have passed. Now look back into these 2 weeks. Were you able to maintain the streaks of the worship, the ibadat that you did? Were you able to maintain it? Okay, some people yes, some people no. All right, okay. The next question is, have you ever prayed to Allah to accept your Ramadan fast? Have you ever prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept your Ramadan fast? Very good, very good. The Salaf, the ulama, the Sahaba of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they used to pray at least 6 months constantly for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept their ibadat, right? Some people, they just think that, just because they prayed or just because they, made, tahajjud, Allah is going to accept it. No, it's going to be based on a lot of criterions. It should be very, very, it should be focused. It should have khushu' and a lot of different elements. So you have to constantly pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept it. All right. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our fast. Say Ameen. Say Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our fast. Okay. And one of the signs of your accepted fasting is your life after Ramadan. This is very, very important. If you want to know whether your fasting has been accepted, if you want to know whether your ibadat during the Ramadan has been accepted, if you want to know whether your qiyamul layl, your taraweeh, your wird of the Quran, your halaqats of Islamic classes, Islamic lectures that you heard, if you want to know whether it's accepted or not, just look at your life after Ramadan. So till next Ramadan, we have almost a year left, right? And the countdown has started. Days are going to go by and it's going to be really, really fast. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a pattern of life of a lot of people. Okay. I want you to tell me whether you can relate or not. Okay. There are some people, okay, and I'm saying this with an experience in the field of counseling. There are some people who wait for Ramadan to stop their bad habits. For example, they may be watching pornography, looking at haram things or saying haram things, or maybe not wearing hijab or not maybe praying 5 times a day. All right. They'll have a lot of bad habits. They will wait for Ramadan and they will promise themselves, this Ramadan, man, I'm going to change myself. This Ramadan, I'm going to stop all my bad habits. This Ramadan is going to be a life changer for me. This Ramadan, I'm going to do this and do that. This Ramadan, I'm going to complete the Holy Quran. I'm going to memorize, 5 juz, 6 juz. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be an amazing human being. Like they'll just visualize a bright future in front of them. All right. Now, when Ramadan comes, alhamdulillah, they will stop a lot of their bad habits. They'll start reciting the Holy Quran. They'll start praying tahajjud, mashallah, very good, very good. So right after Ramadan ends, you know what's going to happen? They're just going to take a U-turn. The haram things that they stopped watching, they will start watching it again. The haram things they stopped saying, they're going to say it again. The haram places they went to before Ramadan, they're going to go to that places. The haram relationships they were in, they will directly go and engage in those relationships and they'll justify their own hearts. They will justify it in their own hearts. And then what is going to happen? They're going to keep a deadline. Okay, they're going to keep a deadline. They'll say, when this comes, okay, next Eid al-Adha, after that, khalas, I'm going to stop it. Okay, I'm going to be a best human being. Yeah. And when Eid al-Adha comes, they stop it maybe for 2 to 3 days and then go back. They go back. And then they will promise themselves by giving them another deadline. Okay. Okay, let me give you an example. For example, the pornography addicts. Okay, if a person is having pornography addiction, they'll promise themselves that they are going to stop it, and they'll also give themselves a deadline. But after 5 to 6 days or 1 week or 2 weeks, khalas, they're back on it again. Now, I want you to ask a question, but this is not for very high haram things, just to have the concept clear. Any bad deed, okay, any bad habit that you had. Is anyone of you able to relate to the pattern that I just mentioned? Answer this question very honestly. Nobody will judge you. Are you able to relate to this pattern of life? You promising yourself that you will stop something or you will do something, for example, tahajjud, and then you relapse. Okay. Now let me tell you a truth about life. The person who follows this pattern, a lot of people, they do it unconsciously. They really don't look back into their life and they really don't think, but they just do it. They just go with the flow. A person who follows this pattern of life is doomed to die with regret. They're doomed to die by crying and looking at the opportunities they missed. They're doomed to have a lot of pain in their lives. They're going to have a lot of anxiety. It's just a cycle, a relentless, recurrent cycle that's just non-stop, that has started since the day they born. They came into this world, and that's going to stop when they die. Now, a person who is stuck in this cycle is never going to succeed in life. That's number one. If you want to succeed, you got to come out of this cycle, man. You got to come out of this cycle. I'm talking to each and every one of you. I'm not talking to everyone here. I'm talking to myself too. A lot of people, we have this cycle, but we don't realize it. We don't realize it. A lot of people, they're just on it. You know, they're on the cycle. They wake up in the morning, they brush their teeth, they go to work. They come back from work, they sit on the sofa, they watch TV, they scroll on their smartphone, social media, Netflix, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Orkut, you name it. They're just going to spend a lot of time on it, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours of a day, chit-chatting and talking about things that are of no use for their life in this dunya and in the akhirah. And the night, they'll just go back to sleep. They'll just go back to sleep. Or some people, they just go to cafes around, they hang out with their friends and come back home, and then they just go to sleep, and they wake up in the next morning. They look forward to the weekend. They just work their entire life until retirement. And when retirement hits, all they have is regret. And this cycle that many people are on, that's extremely, extremely destructive. It lives a life that has no value. It lives a life that has no benefit. It lives a life that has no output. So my dear brothers and sisters, we got to get out of this cycle. This is mandatory. And the first step to getting out of this cycle is to understand that there are unconscious cycles of regret and destructive patterns that are going on in your life. Once you have understood it, you have got to address it. And now you have addressed it. And the next step is to take an intention. And the question I would like to ask you, my dear brothers and sisters, is do you want to get out of this cycle? That's the question. Do you want to get out of this cycle? If you say yes, you have set the intention. So you have completed the third step. Very good. You have completed the third step. Now, you guys are actually 3 steps ahead than a lot of people in a community. They just spend their entire lives in this cycle and they just don't realize it. I'm not only talking about Muslims, I'm talking about non-Muslims too. Muslims, like, we have a hope, we have a schedule, like we got to wake up in the morning to pray Fajr, whether we like it or not. We have a structure. I met a brother from Holland. Here in Egypt, a lot of students from different countries, they come here to study. And I had a friend from Holland, and we talked about a lot of things. And before he became Muslim, he used to describe his life to me. Okay, as an older brother, he's about 45. I don't remember his age exactly. It was before a lot of months. And I asked him, like, how was your life? Like, and I mean, like, you lived a lot of years, man. You lived a lot of years. How was your life? And he just looked back, and he looked at me with, an eye of regret. You know what he said? After he graduated from the College of Engineering, I think it was, his life has been like for 10 to 12 years, working every week, Monday to Friday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, they would go to nightclubs for enjoyment. They would come back. They would start working on Monday to Friday. Then on Saturday and Sunday, they would hit the clubs. They'll come back. They'll start working on Monday to Friday. Go for weekends, enjoy the nightclubs, come back. The guy has been living like this for 20 years. And man, the amount of regret that I saw in eyes, subhanAllah, it was deep. It was really, really deep. So there are a lot of destructive cycles that are going on around you. And if you want to come out of it, you got to have the intention. And alhamdulillah, you have set the intention. So say alhamdulillah from the depth of your heart. Say alhamdulillah. Say alhamdulillah. Okay. And also, many of these cycles, like going to work and all those, okay, it's halal, like, it's just a normal mundane cycle of life, right? But then there are a cycle of sins. There are people who engage in sins. They try to stop it. But they can't come out of it. There are people who I know who make a lot of schedules, a lot of timetables. They try to stick to it, but they fail. And then they go on to, social media just to, like some people in the timetable, they have a break time, right? They go onto social media, Instagram or something else. They just keep on scrolling and then they continue scrolling for maybe 1 hour straight. And then they will regret. They'll go to YouTube and watch some motivational videos. They'll get motivated again. They build another timetable. They'll try to stick to it. But during the break time, they fail again, they relapse, and then they go back into this cycle. This is also another cycle. It's a cycle of wasting time. Then there's a cycle of pornography addiction. There is a cycle of drug addiction. Then there is the cycle of smoking addiction. Then there is a cycle of alcoholism. There are different cycles, and we got to understand the cycles. Now, I won't be having time now to give you the patterns and the internal, nuanced, sophisticated methodologies of how these different cycles play roles in your lives, and there are different dynamics. But now that you have got an idea about a type of cycle, being present in your life, I will leave it to you to address this cycle and understand where these are taking place. Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you need to break the cycle, you got to use the energy that you gained in Ramadan. Ramadan actually improved your life in a lot of ways. Even if you were not able to hit the target that you wanted to hit, it still improved your life a lot. I would say a lot. Now, just like we had Ramadan challenge, another challenge that we have is post-Ramadan challenge. Now, it's not going to be in the form of group, but of course, we'll give you an opportunity for it in COJ, inshallah. Now, what is a post-Ramadan challenge? The post-Ramadan challenge is to stop yourself getting back into a lot of these cycles. Don't go back to the cycle of social media addiction. If you stopped using social media during Ramadan, if you're able to limit your time, stick to that cycle, stick to that decision. Don't go back into being unable to control your eyes. Some people, they control their eyes from looking at haram. We live in a hypersexualized society. I mean, wherever you look, you just see haram. That's the reality, my dear brothers and sisters. If you're in an Islamic country, if you are in Oman, if you are in Qatar, if you are in Saudi, if you are in, the Emirat, if you are in any of the Islamic countries, you're okay. In some ways, you are protected. But then if you go around the world is getting westernized, liberalized, and there, it's very, very hard. Even here in Egypt, even though it's almost like an Islamic country, the process of liberalization and westernization, LGBTQ activism and all those filth that has infiltrated the society and influenced the minds. I mean, filth has been going on around. And this the sad reality with a lot of the environments that we live in America. If there are brothers from Europe or if there are brothers from America, khalas, I mean, you are living in one of the most liberalized and westernized countries in the entire globe, which is filled with immorality and people engaging in immodest activities, right? So for you to control your eyes, you got to use the energy that you gain through Ramadan. So don't go back into being unable to control your eyes. Don't go back to engaging in wild talk, okay? And I'll give you a few more tips to maintain the gains after Ramadan, and then we'll stop, okay? I'll use 10 more minutes, inshallah. Now, the first step is to maintain consistency in tahajjud. Let me ask you, how many of you prayed tahajjud yesterday? How many of you prayed tahajjud yesterday? How many of you prayed tahajjud yesterday? If you did, say yes in the chat. If you did, say yes in the chat. MashaAllah, very good, very good. Number one tip is to stick to tahajjud, regardless of what happened, okay? Imagine that you came back from your work late at 2 a.m. in the night and the fajr is at 5 a.m. Still pray tahajjud and sleep. Don't compromise on tahajjud. This is number one. A lot of people, they just stop their night prayers after Ramadan. And this is the number one reason, they fail and fall back into the cycle of sins and the cycle of destructive regret and pain and suffering, right? So maintain consistency in tahajjud. Make that intention that I will pray tahajjud. Say inshallah. Say it as strongly as you can. Say inshallah, today I will pray tahajjud. Khalas, enough is enough. I will pray tahajjud. I will pray tahajjud. Very good. Say it in your heart, inshallah. Take a very strong decision. Very good. Now, the other is to maintain consistency in the wird of the Quran. So wird is basically a word that, basically it's an Arabic word that means in a small duration of, time that you spend on a particular thing. For example, some people were reading the Holy Quran maybe 1 hour a day, okay, every day. You have 24 hours every day. Okay, like scientifically speaking, it's not exactly 24 hours, it's 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds. But regardless, like, the amount of time you spend for Islamic activities, that really determines the iman that you have. All right. So maintain a consistency in the word of the Quran. Okay. How many pages of Quran do you read every day? How many pages of Quran do you read every day? Or at least how many minutes do you spend reading the Quran? How many minutes do you spend reading the Quran? Okay, very good. Now, what I'm asking you is to schedule a time. Okay, schedule a time. Some people, they recite the Holy Quran. They recite, mashallah, juz wahid, 1 to 2 juz. Mashallah, that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Barakallah fiqh. So like a lot of people, like they have, small gaps in their, timing. For example, they're going to work and, they're in the car maybe for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And, that time, instead of you listening to podcasts or you listening to music or songs or something like that, recite the Holy Quran from the hifl that you have, all right? Or at least listen to the Holy Quran. At least listen to the Holy Quran. If you can't recite, at least listen to the Holy Quran. So have that intention in your heart that you will stay connected with the Holy Quran every day. And one of the most important tips, and with this tip, we are going to end the session, inshallah. This tip is to have good friendship circle. Okay, have good friendship circle. I will say this with as much emphasis as you can. The friendship circle that you have, it determines your altitude in life. Determines your altitude in life. And I speak from the experience of dealing with a lot of people from a lot of different countries, from ages, from children to old age. Okay, a lot of people, the number one reason why they fall into bad habits, it's their friendship circle. True or not? True or not? What do you think? True or not? True or not? Like this is 100%. This is 100%, especially in the campus culture, especially in the colleges. I know people who come from, Islamic families, who have Islamic values, who are brought up in Islamic home. They go to their colleges and they get into, circles. Okay, first, when the college celebrations and everything start, okay, they will have that haya in their heart. Man, I should not be doing this. I should not be doing this, even though my friends are doing it. But then, like, since they don't have other good friendship circles, they just engage, like, just to, stay away from FOMO. Do you know what FOMO is? FOMO. What is FOMO? Ever heard about this? If you're a student of psychology, you must have heard about this. For a very good Samir, fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. Correct, Muhammad Rafiq and Shifa Rashid. So FOMO basically means fear of missing out. A lot of people, they have this fear of missing out, and they just have to stay socially connected. I mean, this is basic need of human beings. If you look at the hierarchy of needs, it's a theory in psychology. It also, has the element of social affiliation, right? So people want to stay socially connected and everyone wants to do it. But when they don't have other circles, they have that feeling of loneliness. And to fill that feeling of loneliness, to fill that void, to fill that gap, you know what they do? They engage in these friendship circles, even though they knew that these people are engaging in a lot of haram things that don't influence them. And then they slowly start, joining these college celebrations, dancing, holy, throwing colors, jumping up and down, free mixing and all those. That's the next step. And then the next step is, being influenced by the ideologies that we have around, like liberalism and feminism, which is basically like a sociological cancer. It's a psychological poison. It's a philosophical trap. It's a path to moral dissatisfaction, destruction, and dissolution of the entire social fabric. I'll say this with all emphasis that I can, because it's really, really poisons. Then there are people who jump into atheism due to the influence of these things. Muslims, their names might be Muhammad, Ahmed, Fatima, and Khadija. They'll jump into these philosophies. They'll slowly take their hijab away. Yeah, all this starts with their friendship circle. All of this starts with their friendship circle. Then there are people who get into drugs. Like, once you're an atheist, you don't have an objective morality. It's just subjective morality. It's based on materialism and hedonism and all those dialectical philosophies. So once you don't have a basic fabric of morality, you start doing things that you're basically going to regret in your later life. You're going to start doing drugs, getting into relationships. Now, this is a pattern. Okay, this is a very destructive pattern. So friendship circle determines your altitude. Friendship circle determines your altitude. So have good friendship circles. This is very, 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 very important. Okay, very, very important. If I could say 100 more times, I would say it, but since we don't have time, I'll stick to 5. Okay, so friendship circle determines your altitude. So your number one priority to maintain the gain that you acquired through Ramadan is to have a friendship circle that is on the same journey as you, who want to wake up for tahajjud. If they don't see you, they will call you. They'll call you. And let me tell you one more thing. A lesson that I learned from my college life. Okay, just college students, just tell me which college you're from. Which college are you from? Type it in the chat. Type it in the chat. So we have Farooq College, we have Kisat, we have University of Calicut, Farooq College, Essen College, St. Joseph Devgri College, Al Salam Institute of Architecture, Baradiyar University, Farooq College, PSMO College, Saranadhan Engineering College, and IMPD, Law School, Jammu and Kashmir, St. Anne's College. We have people from a lot of different colleges, from a lot of different parts of the world. Miranda House in Delhi, I think it is. All right. So we have people from a lot of different colleges. Now, the other question I would like to ask is this. Is it easy to stick to Deen in your college? Is it easy to stick to Deen in your college? Okay. Now, if you want to stick to Deen in your college, the number one tip I will give you is this. Choose your friends very, very wisely. Okay. Regardless of how much Deen that you think you have, even like, you join a circle that's, using drugs and, drinking alcohol and going to nightclubs and, joining all these celebrations and talking vulgar things, not joining classes, failing in the examinations, following all those destructive behaviors. And you may think that you won't fall into those. All right. But you just socialize and have fun with them. Right. Even if you think that if you join them for 1 year, khalas is going to affect you. It's going to affect you consciously or unconsciously, directly or indirectly. It is going to affect you. What is, for the, like everyone knows basic mathematics, right? What is positive into negative? What is plus into minus? What is plus into negative? Basic rules of algebra. It's negative. It's negative. Whether you are positive or not, if you're engaging in something that is like in a circle that is negative, it is going to turn out negative for you. It is going to turn out negative for you. All right. So it's important that you have a good circle, and a lot of people, they're finding it very hard to have this good circle around them. Okay. Now, to build this good circle, okay, but before that, the number one question is, do you want to have a good circle? Do you want to have a good circle? That's a question, like number one question. Now, let me give you a few of benefits of having a good circle, and I'll end in 2 minutes. If you have a good circle, number one, you will grow in life. Okay, you will grow in life. Number two, when you die, you won't have that deep regret in your heart. Okay, you won't have that deep regret in your heart. And also, like if you have a good circle, you will stay connected. And if this circle is based on Deen, then the bond that you have is going to be much, much more powerful. Looking back into my college life, I was active in almost all the organizations. I was there in CVG, that is Childline, which was later transformed to Clan, Childline's Ambassador Network. I was there in SIZE, I was there in NSS, I was there in Palliative, I was there in associations, I was there in clubs. I had contacts with a lot of people in the college. I was there in NPTL, which gave me access to or which made my number a bit more public. And the contacts that I had the contacts of almost all the people in the college. I think it was about 2,500 people. And these are all people like that connected to me while in college, but these were for different purposes. Some were for academics, some were for, games, some were for, trips, going and all those. All right. So we had different bases for forming bonds, forming relationships. Then, there are people who I formed relationships with for the sake of Deen. Okay, for the sake of Deen. And looking back, okay, it's been about a year since I came out. The only people who I still maintain consistent contact with, do you know who these people are? These are the people who I formed bonds with in the name of Deen. Do you know why? because the bond in deen, that's much, much more powerful. And they don't love you conditionally. They love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to get something from you. They love you unconditionally. Now, to have this type of companionship, like it's amazing. It's beautiful. There are brothers, who I have weekly meetings with, wherein which we discuss, different topics of relevance. And these are people who I, found bond with them, like maybe 3 years before or 4 years before. So having that form of companionship, wherein which, if they don't see you, they will call you and check on you. Hey man, are you all right? What are you doing? They will ask you, they'll check on you. If you're going through financial troubles, they will help you. They'll help you psychologically. They'll help you socially. Now that is the beauty of having companions that are, that are oriented towards Jannah. Their final aim and final goal is for Jannah. They will really make you feel alive. Being with them, you'll be filled with happiness and joy, and you will feel comfortable with them because they won't judge you. They won't be talking, all those vulgar things, and you will really be able to have fun with them. You'll really be able to enjoy the time or the relationships you have with them. Now, after coming here to Egypt, one of the things that I enjoyed here, like one of the most important things that I really enjoyed here is this suhba. The suhba. There are brothers from a lot of different countries, from UK, from the United States, from Mexico, from Chile, from Brazil, from Holland, from Finland, from Sweden. We have brothers from the Eastern countries, from Japan, from China. There are a lot of brothers from Uzbekistan. There are a lot of brothers from Indonesia, Malaysia. And all of these people, even though we all have different backgrounds, even though we all have different backgrounds, okay, even though we have very less things similar to each other, the way we dress, the cuisines we eat, our culture, everything is different. But the bond we have with them, it's very, very strong. It's very, very strong. Like if you miss out on going to masjid like one day, like maybe because you went to another masjid, or like you were very busy in your studies, or for some reason you were traveling, the brothers, they will call you up. Ya Wafi, aina ant? Where were you? We did not see you. Like, they really care about you, and they will say, أحبك في الله. أحبك في الله. I love you for the sake of Allah. And that depth of bond, it's really, really beautiful. That depth of belonging, I want each and every one of you to experience it. And that is the basic goal behind companions of Jannah. To have people who will look out for you, to have people who will motivate you for the deen, to have people who will have that suhba that is based on Imaan and Ihsan. And just like your companions in the dunya, you will also be companions of Jannah. And that is the final goal that we have, my dear brothers and sisters. And that is what we should be looking for. Now, with regards to companions of Jannah, it's an amazing project that has been designed by a lot of wonderful brothers and sisters. If you want to join Companions of Jannah, if you want to have this companionship, inshallah, you'll get more updates in your Ramadan challenge groups or IPD groups or whatever groups you are in. I'll also be there. I'll also update in my Instagram page, so you won't miss it out, inshallah. So the final question I would like to ask is, you did answer it, but the final question I'm asking again for emphasis. Do you want to join such circles of companionship? Do you want to join such circles of companionship? Khalas. So now you have set the intention. Just pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you the opportunity. Because a lot of people, they might miss out on this opportunity. So once you enter this circle, inshallah, everything is going to work out. You'll be having clear-cut daily tasks. Like we are having habit trackers to track your habit. There are a lot of wonderfully designed systems. It's going to be based on IPD course. IPD is Islamic Personality Development. So there are a lot of things to say with regards to it, but since we don't have time, I'm sure that I have exceeded the time that has been allotted to me. So I will end now. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all with wonderful circles, with good people, good brothers and sisters who will look out for us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us all companions in Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite us all in Jannah, just like He united us all in this session for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us all maintain consistency in the journey that we are all in. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وقنا شر ما قضيت إنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا إننا نسألك حبك وحب من يحبك وحب عمل يقرب إلى حبك وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
MashaAllah, such an amazing, insightful, informative session. Jazakallah khairan kaseeran for this beautiful session. Barakallah fikum. And the wait is over. Now we are entering the most awaited part of the session. I would like to call upon Sister Fadia for announcing the winner of Ramadan Challenge 2022. Over to you, Sister.
Thank you, Shifa. Am I audible?
Yes, Alhamdulillah.
Okay, cool. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so we have reached the much awaited part of the session, right? So are you all excited to know the winners? May I get some response? Okay. Okay, yes, cool. Fantastic. We got some responses. So before announcing the winners, I would like to remind all of you, especially the participants, something that is very important. I would like to remind you all that we have not organized this challenge, with an intention to see who is better in practicing the faith among us. So we all may be coming from different situations, different backgrounds. So we may have had a very pure and sincere intention in the beginning that we may be able to, do all the tasks. But maybe because of the responsibilities we have in life, because of our exams, or maybe because of any reason that is unknown to others, we may have not been able to complete the challenge or become a winner. So I would like to remind you all that whether you are a winner in this challenge or not, whether you were able to complete this challenge or not, Allah will look into your heart. Allah will look at how pure your intentions were, how genuine your efforts were. And inshallah, you will get the reward according to that. But again, staying consistent and disciplined throughout a challenge, especially in doing the good deeds during Ramadan, is something that is really, something that really deserves a lot of appreciation and something that needs to be encouraged and promoted. And with that intention, we have chosen some winners for the Surah Rahman Tafsir exam as well as for the Ramadan challenge. So let me now get into the real announcement. So firstly, for Surah Rahman examination, we have 4 winners, mashallah, 2 from the brothers and 2 from the sisters. So firstly, we have brother Muhammad Suhail and brother Iftiza Ismail. And from sisters, we have sister Sameen and sister Sajna. Mabruk to all the winners. Congratulations to all of you. Moving on to the Ramadan challenge, mashallah, tabarakallah, we have 6 winners. These are the 6 people who have tried their best to stay consistent throughout. So I'm really glad to announce that we have 6 winners, and among them 3 are sisters. The first one is Sister Sameen again, and Sister Alofa E, and Sister Inda Rahmi. From brothers, we have brother Abdul Samad KM, brother Sabih Kamil, and brother Muhammad Suhail again. So congratulations to all the winners, and apologies if I've mispronounced any of your names due to unfamiliarity. Now, I would like to end by praying that you all become winners in the tests and challenges of dunya, and winner, like how you all won these prizes right now. May this also be a motivation for you to remain consistent and disciplined throughout your life and all other endeavors that you have, and also for your fellow participants who see this. So may Allah unite us here in Jannah, unite us in Jannah, like how we all got united here. Barakallahu feekum to all the winners and participants. Keep up the sincere effort throughout your life. Jazakallahu khair.
Jazakallah khairan, Sister Fadia. Once again, congratulations to all the winners. Barakallahu feekum. Now, I would like to call upon Sister Dina for the conclusion talk. Over to you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Am I audible?
Wa alaikum assalam. You're audible.
Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Once again, congratulations to all the winners. MashaAllah, you have been doing so well in the Ramadan challenge, and congratulations to all the participants. Jazakallah khair, Brother Wafi, for such a wonderful session. How each of you has benefited from this short talk. Alhamdulillah, we have completed the Ramadan challenge. As you all know that it's not an end, but a beginning. If you are someone who wish to bring a change in this world, stick with us because change begins from us. We are coming with new project that's going to bring a drastic change in all of our lives, hopefully, inshallah. I would like to congratulate the winners once again and all the participants of Ramadan Challenge because Allah knows how much effort you have taken and He is the one who is going to reward us, all of us, at the end of the day. Let's hope and pray for the best and do our maximum. Like it said, do your best and Allah will do the rest. Jazakallah khair for all of your presence. And I would like to thank all the people who has conducted this session. Thank you, Shifa, for being a good moderator. And thank you, Brother Ajmal, for a wonderful Kirat session. Atiba, it was a wonderful welcome speech. And mainly Sir Wafi for a main session. And Fadia, you did a wonderful job by announcing the winners. And thank you all. جزاك الله خير سبحانك اللهم ربنا وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته